And in the territories beyond as well. You're catching us on channel 404 on DSTV. Thank you very much for being part of this conversation. Yeah, we're in the north of the country in Limpopo, and it wasn't too long ago that the Premier delivered his State of the Province address, and we're going to ask him to unpack that a little bit and share his thoughts with us on the things that have been happening in the province, certainly since he took over, because as you remember, there have been headlines in this part of the province, whether it was textbook saga and that kind of thing. But things have changed, things have been happening, and we'll find out what those things are. And of course, in the 20th year of democracy, what has been the story of the province so far, and also what is promised for the years ahead. Well, to tell us a little bit more about that, it's my great pleasure to welcome the Premier of the Limpopo province, Chupu Stanley Mathabatha. Thank you very much indeed, Premier, for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter, and good morning to the listeners and the audience.
All right, so Premier, it was just a few weeks ago that you delivered the State of the Province address. What is the state of the province? What did you share with the people of this province that you can now tell the rest of the nation?
No, Peter, what we're actually saying to the people of this province and everybody else who visited us in that occasion was that Limpopo is a better place to live in than it was 20 years ago. We're saying this, Peter, simply because if you come to Limpopo today, you find a solid and united province. It's one solid and united province. And this was at some stage supposed to be about 4 countries, supposedly 4 countries, because you would have your country called Venda, you would have your country called Gazankul, you would have your country called Leboa, and the then TPA, which was South Africa, governed by the central government. But the intention of the then regime was to have them as independent states, But today we've got this province, beloved province, beautiful province, as one solid province of Limpopo, because of this new government, the ANC-led government, that came in in 1994. And for that, I would say, because we are united in our diversity, as different ethnic groups, we are one group belonging to one province. I would say we are a better, and we are a better unit than we were 20 years ago. More than that, you look at the amount of electricity that we are having in this province. About 86% of our people have electricity today, which was something that was very, very, very far-fetched, very remote in the past 20 years. In the past 20 years, when you are traveling across Limpopo, you would, in the evening, you would easily notice where a white settlement was, because the white settlement was electrified, and the non-white or the black settlements were not electrified. But today, I'm telling you, you move from Musina to Groblersdal or towards. In the evening, it's electricity throughout. There's lights throughout. You get Apollo lights where you never expected them because of this new government. So it's therefore that we are saying Limpopo is a better place today than it was 20 years ago. You look at water, clean water, In the past, it was only very few. I grew up drinking water from the rivers, from other wells, sources that were very unreliable, But today, I can tell you about 87% of our people have clean water, which I think makes us a better province than we were 20 years ago.
All right, so you're saying 20 years on, we are doing much, much better. What would you say then have been the challenges that you can, we've done this, but I put my hand up and say we've failed the people in these areas? What are those areas where you could have done better?
Oh, well, there are a number of areas where I believe we could have done better. Coming on the issue of unity itself and bringing the entire province together, black, white, different ethnic groupings, bring them closer to each other. Yes, we did succeed to an extent, but I don't think we really succeeded in every aspect of it. Not only that, when it comes to issues like running water and sanitation, I think we still need a lot to do. Had it not been for other mistakes that were committed, more especially from 2009, there were mistakes that were committed in this province. Had it not been for that, I guess we could have been telling a better story today.
So you're saying that the previous administration failed the people of Limpopo?
Well, I'm saying there were mistakes that were committed. And I think the reason why I'm here, I was brought from Ukraine and come and intervene here is because there were mistakes.
Maybe you should have stayed in Ukraine. You might have saved the day there. All right, so let's talk about the province. Because one of the things that you did when you came into being is that, literally almost on day one, you fired 8 of your MECs, and there's been regular purges of HF departments. What is that a reflection of? Is it that the people that have gone were incompetent, they were corrupt? What has been going on that you'd have so many people leaving?
Peter, I always say I didn't fire anyone and I didn't purge anyone when it comes to the executive council. When a premier comes, when you are appointed as a premier, or not appointed, elected, because you are elected by the legislature. When you are elected as a premier, immediately when you are elected, it means you must come with your own team. Okay. Those MECs who were there, immediately they cease to be MECs, because there's a new premier that is coming in. So this new premier is faced with about 49 members of the legislature, where he's supposed to source his executive. So I didn't fire anyone.
But you did keep some of them. So the ones you didn't keep, you didn't want.
I didn't keep some of them, yes. I was just looking at the issue of a number of things: competency, experience, skill. Yeah, those were mainly the issues that I was looking at.
So now, since you took over, almost 90 senior managers have been investigated or called to disciplinary hearings. 300 cases linked to corruption and maladministration are being investigated. What's been going on in Limpopo?
Like I said, I think we must admit it as Limpopo that we committed serious mistakes in those in the past 4 years. A number of things happened. You would notice that even in the political party that is leading this province, or perhaps leading government, the executive was dissolved, and the premier was withdrawn, and as a result, a new executive had to come in. We had to face Section 100B administration because of these mistakes that I'm talking about. So when we came in as an intervention team. we had to intervene in the mistakes that were being committed and continuously being committed, you know.
So are you friends with Castle Mathabatha?
Very good friends. Very good friends. Castle Mathabatha is my comrade and is my very good friend.
Okay. So how far are we with the process of the areas that were under administration? We're coming out of that phase now. Has it helped? Have things changed? Have things improved?
The phase of what?
Administration.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, we have improved a lot, Peter. If you would remember, when the administration came in, we had about 2.7 billion rands of unauthorized expenditure. We were at about 1.7 billion rands overdraft. Currently, at the end of February, we were at about 4.4 billion rands cash positive, which means we have turned around the situation. So I would say the administration, yes, did a wonderful job.
All right, okay. Yeah. Sure, there's so many things I'd like to ask you, but I probably will do it as we unfold. But you talked about this province doing much better than before, and yet service delivery protests are something that you've had to witness but under your administration, not the one before. So let's talk about in your administration. Why are people, if you're saying that you've got a good story to tell, why are people going out into the streets in protest?
You know, Peter, the backlog was huge. And I don't think we could have been so ambitious that we will deal with the entire backlog that was created by apartheid within 20 years. I think that would have been being too ambitious. Yeah. So, and our people genuinely so want services, you know, and genuinely so our people have to be impatient. When they see other people receiving these services, they are asking themselves, why not us? You know? And at the other end, the people who are providing those goods and services, being government, doesn't have unlimited resources. So we work with time frames and all these sorts of things. So that is why we always say to people, we are still coming to you, but in most instances you find that people become too frustrated and impatient, and they end up...
so how much longer do they have to wait? Because then we can give them a timeline, because you're in charge and you're getting things done. So when will we... when can we say to them, by this date, you will have those services?
Well, off the cuffs, I can't give you that answer now, Peter. But I can assure you...
Before the end of your next term?
When is my next term?
Oh, so there might not be. Is that what you're saying? All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to start taking your questions at home and also from our audience here. We're talking to the Premier of Limpopo Province. Stay with us.